Good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's Eurogroup press conference. We'll have here with us the Eurogroup President, who will take you through the main outcomes of the discussion together with Commissioner Dombrovskis and the ESM Managing Director, Pierre Gramegna. President, the floor is yours.
So good evening, everybody. Let me run you through the key points from the June Eurogroup meeting. Today we took a very important decision to recommend that Bulgaria becomes the 21st member of our Euro area family. This is a well-deserved achievement for Bulgaria, and it is an acknowledgement of the commitment, the significant convergence process that has been undertaken, and the enormous work by the Bulgarian authorities. It's also a really good signal for the strength of our monetary union. The euro is the foremost symbol of European integration and mutual confidence between countries. It's a foundation for the prosperity of our citizens and an anchor of stability for our region. We specifically welcomed the convergence reports from the Commission, from the ECB, and we concurred with the institutions that Bulgaria fulfils the criteria for introducing the euro. The Minister of Finance for Bulgaria, the Central Bank Governor of Bulgaria, have clearly stated their commitment to sound policies, together with maintaining a sustainable convergence path and ensuring Bulgaria's smooth participation in the euro area. So we prepared in the Eurogroup the necessary draft recommendation to the Council on the adoption of the euro by Bulgaria on the 1st of January of next year, and this will serve as an input into the ECOFIN Council discussions that will take place tomorrow, and I believe that the rest of the legislative process will go smoothly. So moving on to other matters, our meeting started with a discussion from another Bulgarian guest, in this case the Managing Director of the IMF, Kristalina Georgieva. Her team joined us for two separate discussions today. The first one was our regular discussion on euro area policies, which the IMF assessed under their Article 4 work. This time we had a particular focus on financial sector issues, as the fund is completing its in-depth assessment of our financial sector under its financial sector assessment programme, and the fund is about to set out its concluding statement. This gave us a good basis for our regular stock taking on economic developments within the euro area. The good news is that our economies continue to show resilience, thanks in no small part to our coordinated policy response. At the same time, the fund rightly pointed out that risks are rising and we have unfinished business. We took note of the fund's comments for prudent and differentiated budget priorities across the euro area, and we had a discussion item, therefore, to check in on where we are with our medium-term budget plans, and also with regard to our budgets for 2025, following up on our commitments of just over half a year ago. And we therefore touched on the recent draft budget plans of Belgium and Austria. The other main priority we face is the need to reinforce security in Europe and the spending that will be involved in doing this. As finance ministers, we focused on ensuring how necessary resources can be mobilised and at the same time maintain our commitment to a stable euro area and to clear budget rules. So we're going to come back to the fiscal coordination aspects of this in our next meeting, where we'll focus on the budget stance for the euro area as a whole, ahead then of our budget preparations for 2026. We then had a very constructive exchange, enabled again by the IMF and by the work the Commission are doing in their new single market strategy, on further steps that we can take to remove barriers on the single market of the EU and the contribution that that can make to boosting our competitiveness and our growth. And the Eurogroup broadly agreed with the IMF's assessment as to where our main priorities lie. So our long meeting concluded then with an important item of substance regarding the digital euro project. Since we touched on this project last, technical work by the ECB has moved on again, and deliberations of the co-legislators on the legal framework are moving ahead. The discussion that we had today highlighted the continued political backing for this key project, recognising its strategic importance and the growing need to move forward in a timely manner. So while we've done a lot, some outstanding issues remain. We agreed on the need to intensify efforts to identify working solutions and looked at how we can coordinate our efforts with the conclusion of the Polish presidency and then the really important work which the Danish presidency are going to carry out on this. We couldn't be more committed to trying to find a successful conclusion, and we will look at how we will do this work in the time ahead. A final but important note then on what's described here in my speaking notes as a housekeeping topic. It's anything but, which is the presidency of the Eurogroup. As you know, my current term will come to an end on the 12th of July. The election process with a call for candidates has been launched today at the Eurogroup, and at the next Eurogroup meeting on the 7th of July, the matter will be dealt with then. I've made public already my intention to ask for support from my colleagues to continue my work, and with that I pass over to Valdis.
Thank you, Pascal. Good evening, everyone. First on geopolitical developments and IMF article for consultations. Today's meeting provided an opportunity to take stock of the latest geopolitical developments and their impact on EU's economic outlook. In recent days, we have witnessed dramatic developments in the Middle East with escalation of conflict between Iran and Israel. This is delivering further adverse shock to the global economy, with oil and gas prices already increasing as concerns over energy flows mount. The European Commission broadly agrees with the IMF's assessment of the economic outlook. Being a very open economy, heightened global uncertainty, geopolitical and trade tensions are weighing on the growth in the EU. While the EU economy remains resilient, the overall challenging context underlines the urgency with which we need to take decisive measures to bolster Europe's competitiveness and secure its long-term prosperity. So I'd like to thank IMF Managing Director Kristalina Georgieva for her presentation on economic challenges and main policy priorities. Now it's a moment to act to restore Europe's economic dynamism and enhance growth, and our competitiveness compass serves as a roadmap which we now need to turn into action. Moving to the European Commission's recent convergence report, which I presented at today's meeting, it finds that Bulgaria now meets all the criteria to become the 21st member of Euro area. I was pleased to see Euro area member states reaffirm their strong support for Bulgaria's entry into Euro area at today's meeting. So I look forward for further steps and for the Council to take final decision on Bulgaria's entry into Euro area in the first half of July. This would pave the way for adoption of the Euro by Bulgaria as of January 1st, 2026. Bulgaria and its both authorities and people have undertaken remarkable efforts to get there and should be proud of this achievement. I recently traveled to Sofia, where the Bulgarian authorities confirmed that they are committed to continue work to prepare for the entry to the Euro area and for Bulgaria to be successful in the Euro area. Of course, the hard work to enhance the dynamism and resilience of Bulgaria's economy should not stop there. Looking beyond January 2026, it will be crucial to maintain fiscal discipline and sustain momentum for positive reforms. The outcome of the convergence report is good news for Bulgaria, the euro area and EU as a whole. A larger euro area also means more stability and greater international heft for the euro. This is especially important in a context of a current shifting international geopolitical landscape, which, however, presents a window of opportunity to enhance Europe's role in the international monetary system. Geopolitical developments also underline the urgency of making progress on another point of today's agenda, the digital euro. Today we held a positive discussion on advancing this important file. There is a broad agreement that digital euro represents an important opportunity for our current currency to embrace the digital age and to make the most of the opportunities it offers. Member States have by now discussed all the key points of proposals. At today's meeting, I once again expressed the need to urgently identify a landing zone and to steer this file towards conclusion. So we need to strike compromises on remaining open issues, and the European Commission is ready to provide all necessary technical support to facilitate this process. The era of turbulence in which we are now living provides every incentive to progress this file. In doing so, we can make the digital euro an important pillar of the EU's strategic autonomy. And now it's a moment to make it happy. I will stop here. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Managing Director Gramegna.
Good evening, everyone. Allow me today to start by speaking about the 13th annual meeting of the Board of Governors of the ESM, which took place at our headquarters this morning under the chairmanship of President Pascal Donohoe. The Board of Governors approved the annual report and the financial accounts of the ESM for 2024. For the financial year of 2024, the ESM recorded its highest net profit ever with nearly 1.8 billion euro, which compares with 320 million euro last year. So it's the highest income ever registered by the ESM since its inception. The ESM achieved this thanks to higher interest rates as a first reason, but also thanks to an active and effective portfolio management in line with our prudent fiscal rules and thanks to a very good management of our paid-in capital. Our paid-in capital is 81 billion euro, and it is the highest of any international financial institutions. In the meeting, ministers also had the opportunity to dwell on the technical work related to the ESM toolkit and lending instruments that they were requested to do last year in the annual meeting. Ministers are very much engaged, and the ESM will follow up by liaising with national experts to elaborate on concrete proposals. The most important is that the ESM can fulfill its mandate to safeguard financial stability in the euro area and be prepared in these challenging times. Turning to the Eurogroup, I would like, on behalf of the ESM, to join all the member states, as I did in the meeting, in congratulating Bulgaria for achieving the milestone of qualifying to become a member of the euro area starting next year. The ESM is reaching out to Bulgaria to prepare for that journey to become a member also of the European Stability Mechanism in the aftermath. We expect to complete this preparation process before the end of the year. The accession of Bulgaria is a testament to the country's commitment and efforts to reach all the criteria of convergence, but is also a sign of the strength and attractiveness of the euro area as such. It will be very beneficial for the country, for its people, and for its enterprises. At its inception, the European Stability Mechanism counted 17 members. Today we have 20. Next year we will be 21. In the Eurogroup, I also made an intervention in the aftermath of the presentation that the managing director, Kristalina Georgieva, made to all of us. We concur with the analysis that the euro area has been quite resilient and financially stable despite the political turmoil and trade disruptions. Today's discussion with the IMF was part of the Article 4 consultation on euro area policy and really happened very timely. We know what we have to do as Europeans. We know it from the Letta report, we know it from the Draghi report, and the Commission that has now also produced its strategy for the single market. So in the study that the IMF presented, it is clear that we can do a lot building on our own initiatives and modernizing, for example, the single market. By reducing by 10% the barriers in the single market, we could achieve over a period of time 7% more growth in the euro area, or more correctly in the EU. So reaping this growth dividend, which depends solely on ourselves, is key for strengthening financial stability and thus also boosting the role of the euro in the world. Last but not least, we also welcomed Kristalina Georgieva this morning at the ESM headquarters, and we had a very fruitful discussion. The IMF intends to strengthen the global financial safety net that exists with international financial institutions around the world that have regional outreach, and the ESM is ready to accompany and work with the IMF in this endeavor.
Many thanks. The floor is now open for questions. I see Desislava Apostolova over there, please.
Desislava Apostolova, Bulgarian Public TV. To Mr. Donohoe and Mr. Dombrovskis, thank you for your decision today. And as you may know, almost the health of the Bulgarian, including the Bulgarian president, are against the adoption of the euro next year. What would you say to those people and to the president of Bulgaria? They are afraid of the higher inflation.
So thank you for your question. And of course, we understand that any decision that is made regarding changing the currency of a country is a very, very important and very sensitive decision, and can understand the questions and concerns that some have in relation to it. In relation to your particular point on inflation, I'd make 3 points about it. Firstly, the reason why the Eurogroup was in a position today to offer a recommendation that Bulgaria join the euro is because of the successful efforts of the people and government of Bulgaria to reduce inflation, and the achievement that you have all delivered in reducing inflation after many years of inflation being high and difficult for many. Secondly, if I look at the euro overall, I believe that countries that are inside the euro have benefited from the support that being a member of such a big currency can offer. And we have seen in recent years that the euro has tended to have low inflation overall, and we have seen that after the inflation shock that we all got hit by, that the euro area has been successful in reducing inflation overall to a far lower level. And then thirdly and finally, that it is decisions that we all make together that will play a role in whether inflation is low or high in individual member countries of the euro. And in particular, the decisions that Bulgaria might make in the future in relation to their budget policy is also a very important cause of whether inflation is high or low. And I certainly take reassurance from the fact that the Bulgarian authorities again today committed to sensible and safe budget policies, which I think deepens the prospect and deepens the chance that inflation in Bulgaria in the medium term will be at a stable level.
Yes, maybe to add a couple of points. First of all, on inflation. That's obviously something which needs to be taken seriously. So we have made the studies on impact on euro introduction in inflation on euro area member states, and we see that in all recent cases, the impact on inflation has been minor, somewhere between 0.1 and 0.3%, and that's more than offset through the medium terms through lower interest rates, lower currency conversion costs, better price transparency. So all in all, one cannot expect a sizable impact on inflation, but that's something which in any case needs to be monitored. So also during today's meetings, Finance Minister Petkova was outlining the work the government is doing on price monitoring, on dual display of prices. Also, during my visit in Sofia, I know that there is a work ongoing also with the business community on, so to say, fair introduction of euros, that businesses are not using introduction of euro as an excuse to increase prices. So that's something certainly where also Bulgarian authorities now need to be vigilant and to ensure that all those preparations and price monitoring is there, that dual display of prices is properly implemented, and really to make sure that therefore there is a smooth introduction of euro. On public support, there I can offer some reflections from the time I was leading Latvia's work on joining the euro area. And I would say at similar stage, like half a year before euro introduction in Latvia, the public support was lower than in Bulgaria now. Okay, the context was different because it was just after the Eurozone crisis. But what we saw that following the introduction of euro, public support went up very rapidly, and now I have not checked the latest figures, but it's somewhere 75-80%, so it's very high support, because what is happening is that people are appreciating the practical benefits euro brings, and seeing that the doomsday stories which Eurosceptics are telling are not materializing.
Thank you. Sabine, please.
Thanks for the floor. Sabina Rossetta, ANSA News Agency. According to the Italian Finance Ministry, Minister Giorgetti today raised the point on asymmetry in the fiscal rules. According to him, a state activating the NEC that is in ADP wouldn't be in the same position of a member state activating the NEC not in EDP. So for a member state that could go above 3%, the NEC would allow not to enter in ADP. For a member state that is slightly above activating the EDP, the NEC wouldn't allow the state to go back outside, I would say, the EDP. First of all, is it correct? Is there an asymmetry? And what is your answer to this? Giorgetti should have said it is a stupid rule. Is it correct? Thank you.
Yes, thank you for this question. Indeed, we had this discussion in Eurogroup today, and I also had bilateral discussion with Minister Giorgetti before. Indeed, that is a situation we are currently facing, that according to the legal framework which we are having, the conditions for opening the excessive deficit procedure and closing the excessive deficit procedure are not necessarily symmetric. And indeed, for opening excessive deficit procedure, we can take into account relevant factors and exceptional circumstances, and we can correspondingly also take into account the activation of national escape clause, and actually we have already done so on some occasions in the context of spring European semester cycle. Whereas for closing the excessive deficit procedure, the regulation is very clear and very strict. It can be done only when the budget deficit is brought below the reference value, 3% of GDP, and the European Commission forecasts that it's going to stay below that reference value looking forward. And it explicitly says that relevant factors should not be taken into account. So that's a legal framework we are operating in. So indeed, legislators, when working on this legal framework, had foreseen this kind of asymmetry in the fiscal rules.
Hi, Sarah Collins from the Business Post. It's an Irish paper. First of all, to Mr. Donohoe, have any more candidates emerged to challenge you for Eurogroup president? And you said earlier that you had the support of many, many colleagues. Is that a majority of colleagues? And second, to Mr. Dombrovskis, can you give us an update on trade talks with the US, please? It feels like things have maybe stalled. Trump is saying the EU is being unfair. Do you believe in that case that he's going to maintain a 10% baseline tariff? Is the EU now resigned to that fact? Thank you.
Thanks, Sarah, for your question. So it's really a matter for other candidates to decide whether they're going to run or not, and for them to communicate it. It's not really for me to do so. I'm very clear on my intention, and I have received a high level of support from colleagues. And in fairness to them, I'm not going to calibrate exactly what that level will be. The contest in relation to this will open up on Monday, and I have received a broad recognition from members of the Eurogroup regarding my work in recent years. I think Valdis had a nice phrase at the end of his statement regarding the air of turbulence that we are in at the moment because of the many different challenges that we are facing. And many of my colleagues recognise the work that I've tried to do to ensure that the Eurogroup is stable and inclusive while we are facing big moments and challenges, and that we're always moving forward. And I leave it to other colleagues to make their mind up.
Yes, and on second question, well, as trade talks with US are ongoing, and our Trade Commissioner Maroš Šefčovič is in intensive engagement with his US counterparts. Well, on this 10% so-called reciprocal tariff, I would say those are speculative assumptions which are not reflecting the current state of negotiations. So we are making progress, and from the EU side, we had always been very clear that our preference is to find mutually acceptable solution and, in a sense, to park those trade tensions. But at the same time, we are also ready to take measures to protect our economic interests and our businesses should we be not able to find this solution.
Thank you. Beda, please.
Thank you very much. It's a follow-up to the question regarding the asymmetry regarding the regulation. Do you think it's an issue, Mr. Dombrovskis, that needs to be addressed? And if yes, should it be addressed with a change in the legislation or an interpretation would be sufficient? Thank you very much.
In this case, as I was mentioning, the legislation is very clearly written, and it clearly says that the deficit needs to be below 3% of GDP and without assessment of relevant factors. So legislation in this case is clear, so obviously we are looking on this situation, but it's worth noting that also for member states in excessive deficit procedure, it is possible to take into account this fiscal flexibility offered by the national escape clause and in a sense have it as a deviation from the corrective trajectory under the excessive deficit procedure. So this is something which can be done also for countries under EDP.
Thank you, and we take one last question from David online.
Yes, thank you, David Carretta, Radio Radicale. It's again a follow-up on this. Concretely, what would change for Italy or for France, who are under EDP, in terms of fiscal effort? I mean, if they stay in EDP, can they go up in terms of defense spends by 1.5% without consequence, or there would be consequence? The fiscal effort would be different. What would change concretely? Thank you.
Yes. So in terms of possibility to use the national escape clause, there I would say nothing changes. Also, countries under excessive deficit procedure can use this national escape clause and can have this additional 1.5% of GDP fiscal flexibility, and we would take it into account when assessing member states' compliance with the EDP requirements and member states' corrective trajectory. So what practically would change in this situation is a date of exiting excessive deficit procedure, because obviously if member states uses this additional fiscal flexibility, the budget deficit is going to be higher, and the date or the year in which budget deficit is going to be brought below 3% of GDP is going to be a later year. So that would change practically, but in terms of application of national escape clause, it can be equally applied both in the situation or EDP or in absence of EDP.
Many thanks to our speakers and to all of you for attending in person and online, and have a lovely evening, everyone.